Hey guys, Andy here again and back in the practice room. As you can probably hear from the background noise and other people practicing. I had a thought in the shower this morning, which is where most people, I think, get their best thoughts. I wrote a blog yesterday about locking it down and locking down fundamentals, locking down long tones. Sorry if I say a lot. I don't script these things out, I kind of just go. So, I was thinking about scales and thinking about my own technique and own shortcomings in my own technique, particularly this guy. This guy on my left hand is really slow. So I decided to do a little experiment that I started today where I take a scale a day. In this case, we're just starting with C major because we're just going to do circle of fourths or circle of fifths. I haven't decided yet, but we started with C major today and relative minor, which is A, and starting slowly, working scales, just the straight full range scale, scales and thirds and scales and fourths, and treating them like I've never seen them before, like it's a brand new thing. And the experiment is to see if I can make getting around the instrument on thirds and fourths pretty much as easy as I can just the regular scale. Because traditionally we learn scales when we're in middle school or starting out, and mostly just major scales, and then most people don't even see harmonic or melodic minor until they get into college, or at least the end of their high school career. And thirds and fourths, unless you have a private instructor pushing them, most people don't see those until they get into college, from my experience. So what I'm doing is just starting at 50 or 60 with a drone of the tonic and the fifth of the scale, and going through slurred, going through articulated, and spending the entire time on one key. Which you say, oh, that's boring. Well, not if you approach it from a place of curiosity and discovery and seeing what you can do. So, since, yeah, since I didn't have a stand in here when I walked in this morning, and I don't think I can flip the signal while it's recording. I can't. Okay, so we're just going to turn the phone around. I just record these things on my phone, guys. So here's my little laboratory. You have tonal energy set up, my Keniston book. I'll also use a collection of scale studies by my undergrad professor, Dr. Doug Owens. I just had the Keniston with me today, and my Bluetooth speaker. That's a Cambridge Soundworks Unz. Which I have abused to the point where the dust screen has come off. I should have bought a cover when I have carrying bags. I should have bought one of those when I bought the speaker, but it still works great. And I do that so the metronome and the tuner are loud enough where I can actually hear them while I'm playing and don't have to stick earplugs in my ears. I don't like playing with earbuds. It's just uncomfortable to me. I do it occasionally, but I don't like to do it. So that's what I'm doing. I'm just, each day we're getting a new key. I may draw them randomly out of a hat, I don't know. But it's going to be scales, scales and thirds, and scales and fourths, and approaching each one like I've never seen it before. And seeing if I can take the thirds and fourths variants and make them just as comfortable at higher tempos as I can the regular scales, because this will in turn get my technique much better, particularly this guy. That little ring finger right there is just painfully slow. And I've tried and tried and tried ways to speed it up, and I just haven't had a lot of success thus far. So I get what I call flippity fingers, where I move, sorry, let's use the piano here. Say I'm moving from E to A on my horn. Instead of ba-da, I get ba-flia, because this guy just does not want to move. And the same thing from like F to B. That finger is just painfully slow. So that's one of the reasons I'm doing this. But the other reason is I have a pedagogy brain. I'm always trying to find better ways to work things, and for not only for myself but for the people I teach. So that's what I'm trying, and I'm going to spend about a month on it and let you guys know what I discover, and how much faster my articulation gets, because I'm also doing these articulated and seeing how fast I can work them up articulated. Because my tongue is another point of concern with my technique. It's just not as fast as it needs to be, not as light as it needs to be. So that's something I'm adding as well. All right, guys, quit watching this video, get back in the practice room, get to work. Have a good one.